Hi there. Today we'll be learning about one of the most fundamental design patterns in object oriented programming, the factory design pattern. By the end of this video, you will be able to know what is a factory design pattern, when to choose factory pattern, its code demonstration, interview question answers, and finally a quiz. So let's see what is factory design pattern. The factory pattern is a creational pattern that provides an interface for creating objects in a superclass but allows subclasses to alter the type of objects that will be created. Essentially, it promotes loose coupling by eliminating the need to bind application specific classes into the code. Think of it like a factory in real world. Imagine you have a car factory that can produce different models of cars. Instead of creating specific car models directly, you have a factory that decides which model to produce based on given criteria. Now let's see when should you choose factory design pattern. So there are various scenarios when we need to have factory design pattern. First is when the exact type of object isn't known until runtime. In many applications, the exact type of object required is not known until the program is running. This often occurs when decision about which class to instantiate depends upon user input, configuration settings, or other runtime factors. An example can be a scenario where an application might need to create different type of object based on user choices. For example, there is a drawing application that might allow users to draw different shapes like circles, rectangles, triangles. The type of shape to be created is determined only when user selects an option from a menu. Another reason is to encapsulate object creation to avoid exposing instantiation logic. Encapsulation is the core principle of object oriented programming that helps in hiding the internal details of how objects are created. By encapsulating the instantiation logic, the factory pattern helps to keep the client code simple and focused on higher level operations without worrying about the complexities of object creation. An example scenarios can be when some objects require complex setup, such as establishing database connection, configuration dependencies, or initializing multiple attributes. Encapsulating this logic within a factory ensures that these steps are handled correctly and consistently. Moreover, to provide a common interface for different implementation, this is used. It's often necessary to interact with different implementation of a common interface. For example, you might have a payment processor interface with multiple implementation like Square processor, Stripe processor, etc. Each of these implementation have its own specific behavior, but they all adhere to common payment processor interface. A real life example can be an e-commerce application that support multiple payment method. By defining a common method which does a payment, the application can handle different payment types. Now let's move to code demonstration. Here primarily we'll be having some interfaces and classes. So let me go through them one by one. First, we'll be having an eatable interface. So this interface defines a dispense method that will implement all snacks type. So what we'll be trying to do is we'll be going to create a vending machine example, and that vending machine will use this eatable interface. For various items in the vending machine, we can have chips, chocolates, and sodas. So we can see that these are the various concrete classes which are implementations of eatable interface, and each of them override the dispense method and print some message. Now we are having the vending machine factory class. This class contains get eatable method which take a string parameter and returns an instance of corresponding snacks type. If the type does not match a known snack, it returns a null. And finally, we have the client code. In the client code, will be able to see that we will use the factory method, and it creates instance of vending machine first of all, and then request different type of snacks by calling the get eatable method. So let me try to run this example. Here we are able to see that at runtime, whatever objects or whatever strings that are passed to get eatable method, we are able to get messages based on that. When we pass chips, we are getting dispensing chips. In case of chocolate, the vending machine will dispense chocolate, and same for soda. Now, based on our understanding of the code, let us go through some interview questions which can be asked. So let me go back to the slides again. First question that is asked is, what is a factory design pattern? So the factory design pattern is a creational design pattern that provides an interface for creation of objects in a superclass, but allows subclasses to alter the type of objects that will be created. It delegates the responsibility of instantiation to subclasses, which decide which class to instantiate. This pattern is useful for handling object creation process when the specific type of object required is determined at runtime. By centralizing the creation logic, it promotes code reusability and maintainability. Second question is, what are the advantages of using factory pattern? So factory pattern offers several advantages. Like it promotes loose coupling by separating the creation of objects from their usage. This makes the code more modular and easier to maintain. Secondly, it provides a central place for instantiation logic, making it easier to manage changes to the creation process. Thirdly, it enhances code readability and reusability by abstracting the instantiation logic into a single factory class or method. Third question is, can you give an example of scenario where factory pattern is useful? Yes, so the factory pattern is particularly useful in scenarios where the exact type of object to be created is not known until runtime. For example, consider a document editor application that can open different type of document, for example, Word, PDF, etc. The type of document to be opened is determined by file extension, which is only known when the user selects a file to open. Using the factory pattern, the application can delegate the creation of specific document type to a factory class, which decides the appropriate subclass to instantiate based on the file extension. Next question is, how does the factory pattern promote loose coupling? The factory pattern promotes loose coupling by decoupling the client code from the concrete classes it needs to instantiate, as we have seen in our example. Instead of client creating the instance directly, it relies on a factory to provide the required object. This way, the client only depends on the interface or abstract class, not on the specific implementation. If the new subclasses are added or existing ones are modified, the client code remains unaffected as long as the interface remains consistent. This separation enhances flexibility and makes the system easier to extend and maintain. Next question is, what are some of the common use cases of factory pattern in real world application? Factory pattern is commonly used when, for example, we are having a GUI framework where different type of UI components like buttons, text field, etc. are created dynamically based on user interaction. Another example is logging framework, where different logging mechanisms like console, file, remote server are instantiated based on configuration settings. Additionally, it is used in data access layers to create database connections or repository based on database types like SQL or NoSQL. The pattern is also prevalent in game development for creating different game objects or entities, like for example, a character or an obstacle based on the game context. So these are the primary questions that can be asked on factory design pattern. In the final section, we have a quiz. In this quiz, you will need to match the questions on the left with the answers on the right. Feel free to share answers in comment section. Your contribution is appreciated. Thanks.